This podcast is hosted by individuals who happen to be members of a union. The statements and opinions expressed by the host and its participants do not necessarily reflect those of the union or unions they are members of. Hey now, hey now, hey now.
What's up?
How's everybody doing? It's good to be back again.
Yes.
Episode 2,
Mhm.
Season 2.
Mhm.
How you doing, sis?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. The sun's shining right now. Right after the rain came, so it's beautiful outside.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, I'm ready
I'll
to get
go
this
outside
show.
when I'm done.
Yeah.
So, my name is Luis. I'm a local 6,
And my name is Tessie Perino. I'm from Local 332.
and this is the Rewire. Sis, what do we have on the menu today?
So, on our first episode, we talked about the new California laws that just passed for this year, 2024, and we're going to continue because there's a lot more we didn't get to cover in the first episode.
And
Yes.
what will we be covering?
We'll be covering different laws from a workplace violence prevention law to bathrooms for women and non-binary people as well. So yeah, we'll get into all that. But there's quite a few laws this year that passed that pertain or help out labor. Like it's a good year for labor in terms of California laws. Like so, I mean, it's great. You know, workers need a boost. So.
Yeah, straight up. So, I guess let's get right into it.
Mhm.
What is our first what's our first law?
Our first one, let me see, not that one. Our first one is going to be on workplace violence, and let me find it right here for
No,
you.
actually
Sorry,
it's
not that one. It's
yeah,
reproductive loss leave. So here we
there
go.
you go.
Here it is. So this is SB 848, reproductive loss leave. This requires California employers with 5 or more employees to offer up to 5 days unpaid, so note it's unpaid, leave when an employee suffers a reproductive loss event, such as miscarriage, stillbirth, failed adoption, failed surrogacy, or unsuccessful assisted reproduction. And then just to add more information to that, employees have to be employed by the employer for at least 30 days and take such leave within 3 months of the reproductive loss event. Employers must maintain confidentiality and are prohibited from retaliating. So I want you guys to know this pertains to both partners, right? So both partners are able to take this leave if they experience reproductive loss, and this is just another leave to add on to the many other ones that we have available to us, such as bereavement, sick leave, and all those. And it just you don't get paid, but at least it protects your job. Like,
Yep,
you have a job to come back to.
exactly. So, and that's extended to the partner as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in my case it would be, myself and my partner if she were to have a miscarriage. And
Mm-hmm.
it'd be confidential, right? So
Yeah.
management, including techs and senior techs, I'm gonna say it again, including techs and senior techs, can't be going around talking about, hey, Luis lost his baby, right? Or, Tessie got a miscarriage. They can't talk about stuff like that. They got to be real mindful about what they say.
Yes. Again, they can't talk about it around the job site, around the office. It's to remain confidential, and that's to protect the worker, right? You don't want no one talking about your business,
Yeah, it's real talk.
especially when you're not there. And then
Yeah.
it's a hard issue, right? It's a
Yeah,
hard thing to live past. But and I have my baby in here. I hear her in the background, and you guys will probably hear her too.
yeah,
She just
and I'm
woke up
probably
from her nap.
and I'm really glad that it, like, failed adoptions.
Yeah.
I know families that have adopted their nephew, their niece, or whatever, and things kinda fell through and they had to take time off to either find the kid or a failed adoption could be a lot of different stuff, it could be the kid running away, it could be the kid getting in trouble, things like that, and that takes a lot of time, and, being a latchkey kid myself, having my parents pick me up from juvenile hall plethora of times, I can attest for that, they had to, like, ask for time off and stuff, and that's the serious stuff, and the confidentiality part. That's the biggest thing.
Hmm.
And no, I'm sorry, the retaliation part is a
And
big
the retaliation
yeah,
part. They can't retaliate against you for
yeah, so
taking that
shout
leave.
out to the government for y'all that, say the government don't do nothing for us.
Hmm. Yeah, all right. So that's the first one. The next one.
The next one, let's see, let's talk about, workplace violence.
Mm.
Yeah, workplace violence. So, under this new law, SB 553, employers are required to develop and implement a workplace violence prevention program. Uh, so what that means is they gotta put together some literature saying that this is what you do if this happens, right? If XYZ happens, you gotta do, ABC. And the interesting part about this law is it gives reps, like the people representing the workers, the right to file restraining orders against the violent party, right? And that has, some weird connotations to it too because um are we putting some maybe undue stress or undue responsibility on our reps for this? They're gonna have to file restraining orders now, and to who? So if two brothers, I'm talking about union brothers, getting into it, and one steps out of line and gets all physical and stuff, right? It's on the rep you know to file a restraining order against his own member. And what if it's against a PM or an owner? Does that worker keep to get Does that worker have to lose their job? I mean, who leaves, right? Does the owner get to have to leave his own shop, or does the guy have to take a layoff, or is encouraged to quit? You know,
Yeah. So
it
we're
raises a lot of
interested to
questions.
see. Me and Luis are interested to see how our representatives, you know, do this, perform this, and what's going to happen. Like, yeah, like, is there going to be a restraining order versus like they could have to maintain a certain feet away when they work, or they have to be on separate job sites or separate companies? Like, what are the parameters going to be for this?
Yeah, yeah, I see a big complication there, and at the end of the day, our business managers are the ones taking like all the blame for everything, right? So it's gonna be on them and their teams to like figure something out because this includes them and this kind of drags them into a bundle of kind of in a pickle, man. So it's just one more thing they got to deal with. Um,
But as a woman or as someone who knows of, because this also pertains not just to violence but to harassment on the job,
oh, that's right.
uh,
Yep.
this really helps us out because I know, I mean, I'm fortunate this doesn't happen to me, but I know other women who have gone harassed on the job, even sexually harassed. So like
Hmm.
now this is a protection for them because usually when we get harassed, like we go to our rep, but like from that point on, there's like no plan like in place
Yeah.
to protect us. And I know some things have happened and didn't get handled very right, but now
Hmm.
this helps. This will help.
Yeah. And I wonder if that extends out to the hall too. I don't know. Do they got to make a prevention because they're actually kind of an employer
I
themselves.
I think they should. I
Yeah.
think they should. Because there hasn't been, and so
Yeah.
when this happens, there's no like procedure in place, and
Yeah.
it's kind of up to how the reps handle it. But like, uh, it would be uh, it would be a good idea for our hall to have a plan in place.
For sure. I mean, procedures are great, man. They're like they're cookie cutter, So if this
Mhm.
happens, this like in your mind when something wrong goes
Yeah.
bad on a job site, some of y'all that run work, something goes wrong on a job site, okay, there's an answer to this is this. Oh, I've seen this before. I did this last time I fixed it, right? Or
Mhm.
someone comes on the job site, knows something, you know, they'll know something. It's just one of those things, man, where it just you ain't got to think about it. It's cookie cutter. Everyone sees us on the up
Mhm.
and up. You know what I mean? And so You know, I'm kind of glad it's a thing now, right? Because
Mm.
harassment is, and harassment can also be extended to people, to men and men, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, we all know how harassment works in our system. All these super senior techs and junior senior techs and super installers and stuff like that. How badly they can treat people that are not favored.
Yep.
So now we have legal recourse, and
Hmm.
kind of unfortunate that they're making the reps do that job, but I guess it is what it is. They have no other way to do that. So moving on, we got
Uh,
another one, right?
yes, we do. All right. So this is
It's
SB
actually
700, right?
no, it's AB 521.
Oh, 521.
Yeah,
Which one is that one? 521. Can
toilets.
Oh yeah. So that's the one you're gonna show, huh?
No, that
The
was you.
screen. Share the screen. All
Oh,
right.
okay, my
I'll do
bad.
it. I'll do it.
Oh, you did.
I have the power to. So this is Luis's screen, and so we have a law here, SB 521. Let's see if I can enlarge it. So basically, this makes it so that there is a toilet facility for women and for non-binary peoples. Before, so this past like last year, you were saying October, and uh, at first they only had a women on this, so guaranteed a public bathroom for women if there was if the job had to have more than one bathroom. And now it was amended to also add non-binary people. And like for me, this is great, of course, being a woman on the job with all you guys. Uh, as you guys know, the bathrooms can be pretty dirty, and I'm I'm happy that I get my own because I have to sit down on those dirty toilets. Otherwise, I don't want to be sitting down on those nasty ass things. So I'm very happy that there is a law now that guarantees that there's a bathroom for me because I've gone to job sites and there's been some, especially residential jobs, that didn't have a bathroom already for a woman, and
Mm.
they had to either get figure out something that day for me, or I had to go and drive to a nearby restaurant, store, or whatever for a bathroom, which was very inconvenient.
Yeah, really. I mean, honestly, for me, in my opinion, it was one of those laws. The original one was like, it's about damn time. Why'd it take so long? You
Mhm.
know, because there's guys. There's I've seen it, man. There's dudes defecating inside the pisser. It's like,
Yeah.
dudes are just having a bad day and take it out on the porta potty. So it's better. It's better that our sisters got one of their own. They can keep, because the consequence for them is more severe, man. And hepatitis is a real thing. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like, you can catch that from toilet seats, like, no BS.
All
So
kinds of stuff,
yeah,
infections and
all kind of that. Hey, and before
whatever.
Imma say this though, before any of you smart guys decide to go with non-binary because you got a shit hella bad, think about what you're gonna do to that toilet and think about the lady coming in behind you. All right? So, I mean, it's all shits and giggles until somebody giggles and then shits. All right? You don't wanna be the guy that abuses this, because I've seen the videos of the dudes putting their hair in a ponytail and saying, "Okay, I'm a woman boxer now." Like, that don't apply here. Let's let ladies have their own, you know, let the ladies have their own bathroom, and, the non-binary folks too.
Yep. So yeah, I mean, for the most part, even before this law was in place, a lot of GCs did a good job of supplying a bathroom, but they didn't really have to. There wasn't
Mhm.
law yet, and there have been women that had to work in jobs that didn't have a bathroom for them, and they had to share with the men. I've only had to do that one job where I actually had to share a porta potty with the guys because there was only one available.
Mm.
Anyways, so it was like no choice. Either use it or there's nothing.
Yeah. I hope you
So
guys were respectful too, because
oh yeah, and they had to talk with the guys. Hey, okay, Tess has to use the bathroom too, so you guys keep it clean for her.
yeah,
Keep it clean for her.
yeah, man. 'cause,
And
and also the, hieroglyphics in there be interesting too. Could be a little
yeah.
offensive.
Oh, yeah. I don't worry, I've seen all that stuff because our porta potties used to be the guys, so I see
Yeah,
it all. I see it all. And, yeah,
yeah.
so you guys are a colorful group.
I know, right? How can you be bored on a job site? I'm just saying. All that creativity, man. There's some real artists in our
Yeah.
trades there. So okay, so anything else on that, sis?
No, so just like, yeah, if you go to a job and you have a woman on the job site and there's no bathroom for them, inform them, hey, you're right, you have the right to a bathroom. So,
Yeah,
and then help
and
support them,
yeah,
get that for them.
for sure. And, yeah, it's good, speak up, man. Speak up because there's people that kinda rely on us that ain't willing to speak up or people ain't willing to speak up. And, a lot of times, I've heard people say it, and I don't wanna really speak on it too much because 'cause I'm not a woman, but I've heard my sister say before, "Man, I already feel like, people gotta accommodate, and I wanna be as productive as possible and don't wanna feel like I'm a burden on the job site and all that." So, take into account that's something people can't help sometimes, man,
Hmm.
and it might be up to us, one of us, to say, "Hey, man, look, man, sis ain't got a bathroom," even if sis got pecs, and big shoulders. So,
Hmm.
let's keep it fair across the board. But one interesting thing to know, and I think Tess said it before, is that this ain't got to be implemented till December 1, 2025, right?
Hmm.
So something they should be doing now. They don't have to be doing now, but if there isn't, we gotta make a list, man, and we gotta put some of these people on blast, right?
Yeah.
Remember, everything got to be done. And again, I'll reiterate, man, that conversations are no bueno. Email, text messages. That's how we
Hmm.
prove we're being retaliated against via email and text messages.
Hmm.
If you're gonna stand up for yourself or for your brothers and sisters, for your siblings, do it the right way with the minimal risk to yourself. Minimal risk is not saying nothing. That's actually being a worm. But anyways,
Mm.
have we beat that horse to death yet?
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. And
Right.
all right, so now we can go to the last one.
Now we go to the last one, and this is a kind of a superstar, but a dud at the same time. Um,
Ready for it?
so yeah, so
Here you go.
SB 700, 700 is a extension or an amendment to AB 2188, which made it illegal for employers to discriminate or penalize an employee based on their use of weed off the job and away from the workplace. All right. It basically made here's the interesting part, right? It made weed smokers a protected class of citizen, like someone in the LGBT community, person of color, things like that, right?
Mm.
And then SB 700 makes it illegal for an employer to ask, right, if they use cannabis. It bans drug tests that take bodily fluids, which saliva, blood, stuff like that. And ladies and gentlemen, here is the kicker. Construction trades. The building construction trades are exempt. I'm gonna say it again.
Boo! Where's your boots? There it is. There it
Now,
is.
that's just
Boo!
in jest, right? I mean, I have no opinion since I don't partake, but I have no opinion on it, but um
It makes
our
sense though,
trades
right?
our
Because
trades
our
were
trade's not
exempted.
safe,
I
so
mean, yeah, but you know what? They didn't include forklift drivers.
no, they didn't.
That's like forklift drivers, cab drivers,
Anyone that handles machinery, you
delivery
know?
drivers, machinists, you know? So, it's a little inconsistent, but like I said, I'm kinda ambivalent to it because ain't nobody gonna catch me with THC in my system, right? But for the rest of my brothers, and sisters, we are exempt. So, The reason why is because we're building stuff, and we get bundled in. Us Sound and Calm get bundled in with the electrician. So electrical work should be done sober. Okay. And for everyone else, if you got your people, and I want to mention too, if you got people that like work at Pet Boys or something, this law does not mean they can go smoke on a smoke break. Okay. If you're caught high on the job, if you're caught in possession of tree on the job, if you caught things like that, you can still get fired. You're not. It doesn't protect anyone from that, right? And you mentioned something earlier, just when we were discussing in pre-production. You discussed something earlier too about how how we're gonna how our system is gonna run this. You wanna get into a little bit?
Well, our system, or I was talking about my local.
Yeah, our testing
Okay,
system. 'Cause I think we use the same people.
maybe, but so I went to our general meeting this month, and I happened to notice that in their notes that uh, the drug testing that we take with our local has changed now, and I don't know if it's because of a result of this law. Sorry, my table is shaking here. But so our test is no longer a piss test; it's a saliva test, and it also does not test for THC.
Mm.
And here's my daughter, you guys. She'll be joining us right now.
Mhm.
So it won't test for THC. And when we were looking at this law, it talks about how the employers can test for marijuana still, but it can only test for the psychoactive metabolic. Help
Portion
me
of it.
here portion of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it so what it is for the active THC in your system, basically. The word is some weird scientific term. I think it's like non-psychoactive metabolites. Basically means they can test if you're high, right? Well, ain't no test like that exists right now.
Hey, come here.
Ain't that right, sis?
Yeah. So there's no, right now all the drug tests, test for THC in general. So even if you did it last month, it'll still be in your system and it'll catch it. So they have to create a new test, which and it doesn't exist yet, or it's in the trials right now. It hasn't There's not one official test yet that's passed to test for the not the non-psychoactive whatever ingredient, whatever it's
Mhm.
called.
The
And
non-psychoactive metabolite.
there you go. So yeah, test does not exist yet. So employers have to decide if they're going to test at all for it, and or just not.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
mean,
we're in California now, and the whole reason they're protecting marijuana users because marijuana is legal, right?
mhm.
So that's why all these laws are just kind of catching up to that. It's like, okay, it's legal now. People can actually smoke it legally. So you know, you just got to make that line because it is a safety issue if you're
Yeah,
high at that time. But again, marijuana stays in our system for a long time, so
it does.
you shouldn't be able to penalize someone for doing it
Yeah.
recreationally off
Be
hours.
yeah, because they can't tell if you smoked a month ago or you smoked during lunch.
Yes.
There's
Yeah.
no way to test that. So I think it's unfair to be doing all that. And if you partake, just be careful because
Be responsible.
yeah, and on top of that, because depending on our leadership nationwide or statewide, this can change. None of this stuff is like permanent. This can
Yeah.
be all repealed. We vote in the right president or the wrong president, the right governor or the wrong governor. They can just repeal all this stuff.
Hmm.
They might, because it's still under federal law, THC is still illegal.
Yeah.
Marijuana is still illegal. So
Yes.
just little something for y'all
Illegal. Hmm.
information.
Yes. So be responsible with your cannabis use, and you are not exempt. Everyone else
Yeah,
is around you, but you're not.
yeah.
You are
We are
exempt.
not exempt. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? So, all
And so
right. So
this was just in case you've heard about this law, don't believe it. You're exempt. Okay.
yeah,
So
we
don't
can.
think you can do it during your smoke break. Like,
exactly. And
Like
if you're on
people.
YouTube, we're gonna leave a link down in the description or on the comments, actually with a link to shout out to Holland and Knight, by the way, man. So if you
Oh
see
yeah.
that up there, all this right here, Holland
We
and
got
Knight
we got a lot of our
actually,
info from them.
yeah, and they use union labor in San Francisco. So
Mhm.
they utilize union workers for their electrical
Yes.
and sound and comm needs. I know
Mhm.
firsthand from experience. So shout out to them for looking out for us with this information because of course we know knowledge is power. So thank you for empowering us.
Mhm.
Um Now got an honorable mention, man. And like I said, you know, I'm just a butthead sounding calm guy. So I don't really know how to mention this, but so SB 365, right? It's the elimination of automatic stay of litigation pending arbitration appeal. So as it stands right now, um, let me see, 365. So if someone has to go to arbitration, they can ask for a stay of appeal until they appeal. So basically they can choke up the whole they can from what I understand, they can choke up the entire process with an appeal, right? This new law says that they have to go ahead and explain why they want that appeal. That's what I get out of that. Now again, we're gonna leave this we're gonna leave the link in the description. So some of you guys that love to talk about your degrees that you have and all that can take those degrees and kind of uh what's it called? You guys can go ahead and interpret that for us and let us know it in the forum. Now, and that's really all I got to say about that one because like I said, we can use your help with this. It's SB 365 and I don't think it's going to affect us really, but CIR is a binding arbitration that we're under. So, if somebody wants to appeal an arbitration, not ours, but maybe this might be important to the Sparkies. This might be important to the Resis. This might be important to people who are not restricted by CIR. Um, so yeah, that's the very last one. We kept this down to half an hour, sis.
Oh my god, we did such a good job of keeping this under a half an hour.
I know, right?
First time.
Yeah,
I think we're just tired.
I think so. Yeah, we kind of marathon a little bit, but
Yeah, a little bit.
this is a good thing because having a bird's eye view, like it gets kind of lonely when didn't it, don't you feel like sometimes you're like the bum in the street, the end is coming and no one really knows,
Um,
nobody sees what you see, you know? At least
mhm,
here I do, Sometimes I feel that way because it's like it's heavy. I see things coming down the road and I see how things are gonna affect us and you know, on the job site with people, motherfuckers rather talk about, the season or the Warriors or the Niners or, if you like disloyal people, the Raiders and or disloyal teams. You know,
mhm.
so they rather talk about meaningless things, and then complain about things when they hit them in the face. And it's like, well,
Yeah.
remember when we talked about that during lunch? So uh
And, law, the laws are there and they're there. And then there's some out there that are there to protect us workers, or
yeah,
there are some that actually might harm us. So, like, it's good to know what they are and how it pertains to us. And that's what we're able to do on this podcast today is, okay, these are new laws. How do they affect us?
exactly.
And is it good or is it bad? And, just, discuss it. And, you're reminding me too that, there's another kind of issue coming up, and it's kind of pertains to law because our own NLRB, which is a National Labor uh, Board,
Mhm.
what does it stand for? NLRB. What's the R?
National Labor Relations Board.
Okay, so that's the board, kind of like make sure they enact the labor laws for us, and they
It's
they
it's
have their own court,
basically
right?
yeah, it's our Supreme Court.
It's our
It's
Supreme Court.
labor's Supreme Court, yeah.
Yeah. And we have companies out there, large ones too, that are trying to they're trying to make claims that that board is unconstitutional and basically trying to eliminate it. And that would not be good for us, for workers. And I mean, you see that I mean, I hear of the companies like, and these are the companies that are a part of this. Trader Joe's is on there, and
Guess I ain't going there later.
just recently, Amazon just got on there. They're starting to say they already just made a claim saying that the NLRB is unconstitutional. So, and it's most likely too going to go to Supreme Court. They're saying this issue, and if it goes to Supreme Court, that's kind of scary because of who makes up that Supreme Court right now. It's not very labor friendly at the moment.
Yeah. And that's why our leadership is important. You know, some of
Yes.
us voted a president in that put a whole bunch of weirdos in the Supreme Court, appointed weirdos to the Supreme Court. And now they made their move. Right?
Mhm.
Now Amazon, Trader Joe's, SpaceX are now they made their move. Now they're showing their hand. Now they're showing why they've done that. Right? So now it's like, okay, well, the NLRB is unconstitutional. Well, you know what? It wasn't unconstitutional when a certain president was in office
Mhm.
and had the CEO of an oil company as chairman of the NLRB. It wasn't then, right?
Mhm.
I'm just saying, man, chess, not checkers, man. The view from up here is really contrast. It's really large. It's really focused.
And you were
So
talking about, you brought up last podcast and you asked me to test, like, what's going to happen if we do nothing?
mhm.
So imagine what things would be like if we didn't have that board, the NLRB. What will it look like for us? It's not going to be pretty.
Not gonna be pretty. I
It's not
mean,
going to be pretty yet. There goes all our protections. There goes everything, our
everything
conditions,
is
even conditions,
oh
like
yeah, everything is gonna be
everything gone.
yeah. I
It's
mean,
all going to be employer run.
let's keep it real. What do Republicans say? Bad for business, right?
Mm,
It's a job killer. It's a job killer. What? So lunches are a job killer because
yeah.
we can't. It takes away an hour of production or breaks. Meal breaks takes a half an hour of production away. It's a job killer. You got to understand something, ladies and gentlemen. When we're dealing with politicians and politics, we're not dealing with people who, um, we're not dealing with people who the majority whose dad is an iron worker, whose dad is an electrician, whose dad is a union plumber. Their father worked in factories. Nah, man, we're talking about grandsons of lawyers. These are lawyers,
Mhm.
and they just plead their cases. They don't care about the truth or the outcome. What right and wrong is. They're pleading their cases, and that's it.
Well, your screen is frozen, so I guess we
Yeah,
should probably end this pretty soon before you're totally off.
yeah, I know
So, man, so yeah, you guys, stay aware, stay present, know what's happening, and we might have some fights ahead of us that we might have to start doing. So,
for sure.
yes. All
So
right.
that's
So,
episode 2, season 2, y'all. Let's
mhm.
hit the let's get that outro going.
Make sure you guys share our podcast with your coworkers and reach out to us if you need to. Sorry, I don't want to show that. We have a Gmail account, therewired9@gmail.com. If you need to email us, have any questions, want to reach out, just want to say hi, go for it. And yeah, we'll see you guys on the next one.
Peace out.